Hey there, let's dive into this week. So, we have got a lot going on privately in general, and we've got a lot of information here on Taurus in our first house. This is all about identity. And so, we've got Jupiter, Mercury, and Uranus all here with Taurus. And when we're looking at that, we have this situation where we have expansion, we have this ability to like integrate our feelings, which are coming over here from the moon. And we've got our Virgo moon, which is kind of critical, and it's in our home and our immediate surroundings, literally our casa, right? And where we kind of unwind and let go. So we've got this opportunity to really relax and to bond with our family and those we invite into our space. When we're looking at how this is kind of unfolding, a lot of this is private, right? So we've got some situation here with our sun, where our sun is in Gemini in the second house, which is all about like our paycheck, our things, what we spend our money on. And so we're taking this perspective that's a little more logical and maybe also looking for a way of expressing ourselves a bit there. And when we're going into the rest of this here, let's look at Venus. Venus is still in Cancer in our third house. So it's all about this communication and connecting on like shorter matters, learning on shorter terms. Also, this particular Venus is working with our 11th house. And then we've got some coming over here in the first and second house. So as you see, most of our energy is being spent here. But when we're looking at how this Venus is incorporating with the 11th house, we're seeing that we've got this Saturn situation. And with this Saturn, this could be a situation where there's commitments with groups. Maybe you're taking on more official roles, or that those roles are evolving, and they could increase though. So it's also possible that maybe in like a friendship group that you have, it's kind of coming to an end, right? So as you look at this, realize that your focus is really on like intuitive work and workers. And this also, Saturn with Pisces I know I mentioned it last week, but it can kind of bring some anxiety and fear sometimes. And so keep that in mind when we're looking through this, and that it's associated with karma. And so when we're looking at the karma right now, it's all about who we are and how we work with our relationships. Are we seeking this stability, seeking a strong connection, things around that area, and still being able to have this like very intuitive experience together. So, as we move further on, we've got Mars in Leo. I know I kind of warned you guys about this last week. Mars in Leo is very focused in whichever house it's in. We've got fire with fire, and it's got a lot of gas to it. So, right now, this is very focused on working through some of that karma we just talked about, also working through potential transitions that are happening in your work environment or how you're showing up in the world. And then when we look over here at our moon, we've got the moon over here that is really working well on processing all of these feelings we've got about our identity right now and how we're showing up in the world. And don't get too critical about yourself. The reason you're retreating and being home is because you're focusing a lot on yourself, and maybe you have some encounters with people that are not pleasant because they think that you're attacking them because you're trying to simply point things out. Maybe in this case, it's more likely that you're pointing towards yourself and being very critical of yourself. So be patient. Don't be so critical on yourself. Remember, it's always a transition. So as we continue into the week, let's go into Tuesday. So as we go into Tuesday, our moon skips over into Libra. And you can see that things get a little bit lighter on that first house. That had so much going on in the beginning of the week. Well, I guess it's still the beginning of the week, but the first few days. And so as we're looking at this, now we're just like, okay, we're back here at this second house. That's all about that communication. It's about our identity, our self-esteem, It's just this element of life and how to be expressive. And you're very versatile in your communication right now. And you might be a little aloof or elusive. And so when you put that together with more air of this moon, the difference is it's really looking at this balance, right? Like, what is this daily balance and how are we integrating emotionally through it? And maybe we have some opportunities this week where we're helping others um, balance some things out that we've already figured out. And if that makes sense. And then as we continue into our week, oh my goodness, look at what happens on the 31st. This is Wednesday. We have a pretty big transition that happens on Wednesday as the same planets focus in different areas. So that identity piece now comes together full circle with our sun here in Gemini. And so, again, still communicating, still socializing, but this is now like a part of who we are. It's a season that's going on, right? And then we also have all that Taurus energy that was focused on our identity move into our 12th house. So we've got an opportunity for expansion, for creativity, for communication. It's a really good time to express and process our feelings and emotions and how these things are all playing out. We do have some transition here with long distance travel, higher education, more long term commitments, and cultures and experiences. And so you might find yourself having this urge to learn and takes on some commitments where you want to expand somewhere, right? Maybe something has always kind of been lingering and you're ready to like learn about this on your daily life and how you're showing up in the world. Keep in mind, you still have a lot of this Pisces energy going on in Neptune and Saturn. So this is very much pulling on like that intuition. Also, the idea of wanting to escape reality a little bit. And it's showing up in our 10th house, which is going to be challenging for some of us, as this is going to be an opportunity where we're really like, I don't feel like working, right? Especially when we had, like in the US, a holiday weekend. And so we're not even starting our week until Tuesday. But on Wednesday, you're already like, I'm so over it. Just keep in mind, you need to stay focused enough to get through the day. And maybe what you do is just use your intuition, which is on point right now, to figure out what's most important to get done today. And then when we're going through the rest of the week, let's see, Thursday here, the moon pops into Scorpio in the 6th house. This is great. We also do have a kind of a square going on with some energies. So you will feel a pull between balancing everything going on. Maybe you've made a decision to make this commitment on this journey here of like learning something. Excuse me. Or you started like writing something and use some of this integration of our identity of and this energy we had going off in that area. And we're really looking for this balance here where we can make this work. Don't get too frustrated. It's all about comfort, right? In this moon, like how is it focusing with your daily routine? Is your health good? Is your emotions good? Like how are your pets, right? Maybe you just spend some time cuddling with them because some things can come up intensely right now for you or others for a need for drama. And so let's just breathe through that and focus our areas on these other areas we've already talked about and see about getting through there. There might be, for some of you, the moon just in general represents our mothers. And so for some of you, this intenseness can come from an experience with your mother, and maybe something traumatic is happening there. Uh, so just keep that in mind. And then let's look at how we come into the weekend. So as we come into Saturday, we've kind of got some spread out energy again, right? But it's all focused on this transition, creating balance, beauty, and comfort, right? It totally aligned with what we just set up with that moon. So as we come into the weekend, look at your surroundings, right? Look at your life. Look at the things you have around you. Look at the people around you. Look at how you are feeling about everything. Is there an integration needed? Is there things to be let go? There's a really good time for this type of transition. Let me check on one more thing here. I don't know where this is going to pop up at. Let's see. Hopefully, I don't cover up my screen here for you. Oh, nope, I didn't. Okay. Sorry, I'm just checking something on the moon real quick because I was like, wait a second. Yeah, that makes sense. We do have a full moon coming up this week on Sunday. I was like, wait a second, this moon I think is coming into a full moon here, and it's in this relationship category. So this weekend, keep in mind, we'll have the fireside full moon ritual, and every moon, new and full, I create a new practice to share with you. And so keep your eye out for that. And also, when we're looking at this moon, it's all about deeply feeling and this one on one connection with our partners. So be aware you need to have your partner with this level of caring that maybe come from a different direction than normal, meaning that it's coming from this very nurturing, compassionate area. And that might be a need that you have, and it might be a need that they have. So take the time to connect. Just take a road trip together. Maybe you take a bigger trip together because of this Pluto energy up here, right? But plan to do something together and have fun and love on each other. And when we're looking at this from a perspective of someone who's not in a relationship, no worries. This doesn't have to be a spouse or a business partner. This can also be your best friend or a sibling you're really close with. It can come up different ways for different people. So as we see this moon come in, I would just want to give you that perspective. It is a full moon, so it's time to let go. And then when we're also looking at some of this learning and integration we talked about, I did just release Fireside publicly. So all of you that were waiting, and the list is long, thank you. I will be having a lot of phone calls over the next couple of weeks while we get it all set up, because you'll have to see if you qualify, because I don't want anyone in that it's not going to benefit them. I want to make sure it's the right program for you. If not, I'll point you in the right direction. But either way, um, that might be something that helps feed some of this energy you've got going on for learning, maybe new opportunities, integration, things like that. So I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week. And I will see you during the sadhanas during the week and on the weekend for the full moon. Take care.